All right, let's check it out. Um, Help me understand what I should do better. Looking for genuine feedback. If you don't think EOM is real, does that mean everybody except you is just having a bad game? Or like my understanding is that it's just like pretty complicated in general because like there's so many people playing the game. Um, you know what I mean? Like because there's not really. It's just like players going against each other and then they're given a number and then the algorithm tries to sort the numbers while also sorting other factors as well, like like the latency or the region. But then I don't know. I don't know if there's like literature on this where people talk about this a lot. I assume there is because it's also like a role queue game, even though this doesn't have role queue. But like if everybody plays DPS literally every single game, you wouldn't want to match them all in the same game. So I think the algorithm likely factors these things in. Um, and theoretically, you could make an AI that's like studying tons of stuff inside the game and like creating tons of connection between tons of things. And it's possible to rig the games. You could just um, you could set things up. The AI would figure out like, okay, it's likely that they would win or lose. But I think in general, things just haven't really gone that far yet, and the algorithm is actually more simple. And since it's more simple, let's just take the case that if it is more simple, then it's going to lead to stuff, unbalanced stuff, because these are just random players matched up in the game. So it can also be, instead of it being like super rigged, it can also be a pretty simple algorithm can also lead to like a lot of matches. And also when we're dealing with randomness, it can be like if you flip a coin over and over and over again, you know, you can get heads like 10 times in a row. You can get it 50 times in a row because it's like every single chance is a random chance. It doesn't have to be balanced. Uh, so stuff like that. But then also this game is like, that's why it would be pretty complicated to make an AI capable of like really, really good EOMM, even though they can probably put some EOMM in, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do. So I don't 100% know, but I'm just talking about it, you know, see if that's useful. But like the game is so complicated, right? In the sense of like, even if somebody misuses an ult, or some, you know, sometimes you kill a whole team with one ultimate. You know, can the can the algorithm like plan for that? You know what I mean? Like sometimes people don't know enough about the objective, um, that they'll just leave the objective and not do something relative to the objective for like 2 minutes. And that 2 minutes makes a huge difference, right? And it totally skewed the results of the game. You know, all these types of things. And also you have all the spawning mechanics, like whether you happen to have a fight go down, like let's say this is like part of the map. Let's say this is like a new checkpoint. So you can have a fight go down here. So then this team all spawns out immediately. But then you can have a fight go down here. And so this team spawns out immediately. And this team has to come all the way here. Let's say they try to portal. The portal fails instantly because of a good ultimate situation or whatever. Or people just made mistakes. And now they have to spend like an extra minute and a half just getting back down here again. So it's like where fights happen and stuff like that can totally skew the game as well. Like, so it's just trying to talk about this whole EOMM thing. But moving on from that, it sounds like it's not a big deal, and we're really just looking for how to be better at the game. So I don't know about this guy, Adam Warlock. I know he's like good now. I don't really know anything about him, but I think you switched later as well. So right off the bat, we kind of took an unnecessary risk. Because maybe you do have an instant revive, but either way, like we don't want to die under any circumstances. So basically we have two like spammers that can spam from a distance, and it's good chunk of health. Like it only takes like 3 shots between Iron Man and Squirrel Girl. So it's not really like our fault, you know, we didn't know it yet, but this is how we can be like a bit more in the game and a bit more making sure we never, you know, or like noting when we do make a mistake that's like, oh, I technically could have been more foresight oriented to be like, oh, I need to make sure I don't die here rather than just like going out, right? So yeah, but it's gonna be. I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, it's gonna be a tough match. Going against Iron Man and Squirrel Girl is hard. Even in Celestial, it's hard. It really just, this is another thing where there's so many different heroes, and there's so many different, back to the EOM thing, like EOMM, there's so many different heroes and there's so many different ways to play the game. It just has a massive impact. Like, let's say we have a magic that comes through and just kills 2 squishies right off the bat, and they're like bad at reacting to that. That will totally skew the entire results of the game, right? But yeah, I'm just pointing out these characters are tough to deal with. You know, Iron Man can be good at just riding the edges and no one kills him, right? Because it's kind of too risky to try to come out here and try to kill him, because he could just kill you from a distance. So you really need a good solution for Iron Man if he's performing well and he's not being totally messed up by his team, or like his team is not too vulnerable. And then Squirrel Girl is her own type of problem, where Squirrel Girl is like a constant threat to your backline and stuff, and to all the squishies basically. It depends on the map, depends on the circumstance, but yeah. So yeah, I think this was, let's go back and review this. So we are the healer. We're one of 3 healers. So he is like too far out, but basically this is kind of a bit more gold oriented, in the sense that, like, if my guy's out there, my brain needs to be out there too. This guy is here, but that's not where I don't literally get totally sidetracked and tunnel vision onto him. That's like a sign of something to improve. I'm not saying like you totally did that or whatever. I'm just pointing out something that we can think about, right? That's what I'm trying to do. All right, but this, now we have more evidence of being sidetracked, right? What's going on with him? But so we can see his outline in game, and unfortunately he just keeps fighting him out there. He doesn't know that Venom spawned down. So this is where like voice comms would be the only way to really solve this. He doesn't know. And technically she of course has a better track here. You going forward isn't going to be that convenient. So yeah, it just sucks. But here we're kind of still watching the Venom, right? But we should be already lined up and ready to try to save him. But the reality is, well, we also find out he's too far gone because he was getting taken by the dino. But, you know, it's not like, oh, you made a huge mistake there or whatever. But I'm just pointing out stuff that, you know, to think about or whatever. But this was a good example of what not to do, I think, if we watch this back. Alright, that happened. Now we're at a disadvantage. That was our only tank. So we would know this from our start to the game. We have 1 tank. So it really matters that he dies. We don't have a raccoon. He's not coming back. We basically lost the first point already. There's really nothing we can do. Or it's not that there's nothing that we can do, but it's going to be very difficult to hold this point. So we can basically already expect to lose the first point off the bat. Not like totally expected, but this is something we would think of, and that we would want to use a strange portal to come back if we can. But you know, there's definitely possibilities. You know, if they're not quite strong enough to take us on, we do have a fantastic, and we have tools and stuff. If we can get a kill while they're coming up, you know, that's one example of, okay, now the odds have been reset, and we have a good chance to hold it, or we'll just try our best to hold the point, and a lot of times it is successful. Okay, but anyway, back to this stuff. So I'm doing this. This is what I'm thinking, right? This is what just happened, and I don't really want to do this because I've already found out they have an Iron Man and a Squirrel Girl, and they have 2 tanks. They got their whole team front to back right here. So, I mean, it's just the way that I stood there and tried to line up all these shots. It's very likely I'm going to take lethal damage. The most I can do is sort of do it off the edge and hit somebody, and I mean, you can kind of try to, I guess actually what I just thought of is you might be trying to sneak a shot onto a squishy and see if you can get a kill, which would allow us to save the match. So that's actually a pretty smart play if that type of thing is going on, because you can save yourself as Adam Warlock. You can use your self heals. So it's kind of a toss up, you know, that's not a bad strategy to use. But it's also a good strategy to know, you know, I'm just putting damage in and collecting all charge basically, and maybe we'll have a chance. So we got saved by the shield. So he's coming in, so this is a good opportunity to kill him. Nice. Very nice. That's fine. So we're getting surrounded by the these ones. Getting kind of tough. I think, yeah, we're getting hit from the side. Good thinking. think we missed there. Gotta kind of decide what we want to do. Do we want to get distracted by this guy? Or do we want to take the opportunity to try to kill one of the squishies? Do we want to keep hitting him in the head? You know, it kind of depends. But I don't think we really made too big of a decision there. That's what I was thinking. I might try to slink off to the side and try to sneak a kill or like near lethal damage on one of these guys, because pelting him in the head, if other people are also shooting him, there's a chance, but not really, because he's got 2 healers behind him. And this guy, he's notoriously super annoying. There's like no way to kill him, and he's got his whole team behind him as well, so he's not really worried about dying. He's kind of going all in right now. So I think my only choice is to try to. We could try to kill her, but really I need to kill both the healers, and then maybe the rest of my chance has a chance, right? But we just lost the healer. Yeah, she went way over there, so that happens too, you know, stuff like that. She didn't really know, she's not really thinking about it where exactly to back up, and she ended up backing out over there, which would have made more sense to go this way and be with the team. But yeah. So now it's 100% over, so we don't even have to, like, care. We could just kind of... Yeah, I mean, that's fine. We almost got a kill on him as well. I mean, we probably could have, I think, unless you needed to reload or something. We could have just got those last few shots on him as he's walking by to try to kill him. That's what I was thinking to do on the Venom here while he's walking by with low health. Unless you needed to reload or I missed some. Let's just check. Wow, I wanted to, like, not go backwards, but yeah. So we reloaded. So then once we see this, you know, it's time to just... Oh, okay, never mind. You healed, so that took you out of the running for shooting at him. So I'm glad I went back and checked. Okay, and we can't shoot through this thing. Nice. Good chance here, because we got a squishy or a healer close to us, and this girl's still alive. So we did end up making it back, and we're challenging the point. Yeah. It's tough, though. Good. Really nice decision, and good shot. That was what we had to do, and we did it. Should have been doing that, but I mean, I can understand if you thought someone was behind you. Oh, you heard Venom. Venom is currently like going this. So that's probably what you heard or something, you know. But we don't have time to do all of this. We don't have time to do this because we know it's a crisis situation. And we also saw Sue go out to the side. So we're not really gonna win this fight probably, but like we should be there dishing out heals for as long as possible. So yeah, this is the situation now. So everybody doesn't really realize it. They're just kind of running in. So in general, you know, a lot of this was just kind of a mess, and it didn't really make sense. Like, I don't know. I mean, you want to do the portal. Somebody should have portaled. That would have been like the ideal thing to do. And then you try to have like a full team fight where everybody survives. So you try to hold on a bit and stuff like that, but I don't know. You basically know you're going to die, so you kind of like play that way. But we ended up not even dying. But we're at risk right now. That's the thing, though, right? Somebody could kill us right now, and here we go. We have our good opportunity. Ended up happening. Yeah, but we can save ourselves, and we have our ultimate. So we got our ultimate fast too. So I think we can heal with the right click. So we could have healed him right there and then did the button. Yeah. But that's why, like, in general, we want to regroup and have like a legit team fight, team wall or whatever, rather than like we're stuck here, and they're just able to stagger us. But now that we've done all this, now we can finally prepare for another team fight, which should happen like around this whole section. So see what happens. Alright, so we have someone over here. So it's not the end of the world, right? It's easy to say, oh, we have somebody